Good morning. It is April 22nd and already a channel fail for not putting out a video yesterday. Apologies. We're dealing with a lot here in New York City. I do promise these will be less janky in the coming days, hopefully weeks. I've ordered some equipment, but like everything, it's many weeks out for delivery. We're having challenges in the city just getting basic things, so a lot of folks are turned to the mail. So anything I order from Amazon has a delivery date of late May or early June right now. So thanks for bearing with me until I can get some proper equipment. And let's get to today's reading. Today I'm reading with the Victorian Romance Tarot deck. I utterly love this deck. It's by, let's see what we've got here, Alex Yerkolov and Karen Mahoney. They just do amazing work together out of Ireland. But let's get started. I do promise I follow my normal routine. I just don't have the ability to both shuffle on camera and record right now. But the format, just a reminder, I'm asking simply when I shuffle, what does the collective need to know to best use these next 24 hours? It doesn't really matter where you are in the globe when you read or view this video. It's your 24 hours, just as right now it's about 6 in the morning and on the East Coast, and it's my 24 hours. You will find this video when you are meant to find it. A lot of the same cards, even though they're a different deck, had made an appearance from the April 20th video, so let's get to it. First of all, I straight up knew this card was going to come out this morning, and this is the Ace of Cups. This is a new emotional beginning, not surprising. We have the Queen of Wands. This, I don't really think gender is necessarily fixed in this. This is just about confidence. This is being comfortable in your own skin. I always imagine the Queen of Wands is like the most popular kid in school. You know, you just don't know where it comes from, but they have all the confidence in the world. Feeling secure, confident, and attractive, frankly. But then right next to it, we have the Five of Wands, and I actually think this is a great depiction of the Five of Wands. They're in this deck, they're using concepts of traditional imagery of the Rider-Waite, but it's a slightly varied take, and this is really what it's about. It's about discord. This is a group of individuals, 5 of them obviously in this, and it's about struggling with a group typically. It can also be internal struggle. This can be the committee in your head, not wanting to, not sure which way to go, and that's echoed later in the reading. So questions I would suggest with this first row is, what is this new start, this growth of confidence, and what is that, you know, who in your life? Is it in your head, or are there actual people in your life who tear you down, who don't necessarily want you to be your best self? And you know you may need to start anew. And this actually, Ace of Cups typically actually represents a new relationship. It really, even if you take a look at it, this is often the beginning of a new romantic relationship. So another way to read this may be, you know, there's a spark, a new spark. It's left you feeling shiny and new. And, you know, what are the doubts in your own mind about that connection? Going on to the next line, we have the Moon, Major Arcana, the Hanged Man, and the Nine of Pentacles, which is actually really interesting. So the Moon is about things that are hidden, that which we cannot know. It's also about illusion. Things in the light of the moon look very different than in the light of day. I love how we have this new moon image on her head. And the tower in the background, there's so many repeating images. This is also, you notice all the water, and again, all the blue in this card. This is water, cups, emotion. We can be over emotional when we see the moon. We can not be seeing things clearly when we see the moon. So we'll look at the other cards to kind of give us an indication of what we may not be seeing quite so clearly. And then we have right next to it another major arcana, the Hanged Man. Adore this version of the Hangman. I actually find this one of the more challenging cards to discuss. In the most basic sense, it is a pause, and aren't we all on a global pause? But when you look deeper into the Hangman, it really is about that stillness that we find in ourselves when we take that pause, and the transformation that can happen. Things that seemed impossible are suddenly possible when we go inside ourselves, when we find that center. And this card, it's actually a circus performer, right? Standing, levitating upside down on this plank. You know, this is upside down, standing right side up. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we're seeing this kind of in the, no, actually, I'm not going to go into that. So what kind of powers are we finding within ourselves? Strengths that we didn't know were there, superpowers in this pause. What has come to the surface that we didn't know was there about ourselves as we are going through this global pause? Because I think for many of us, Nine of Pentacles, it's really important to notice this person is alone. The Nine of Pentacles is always a solitary individual. The phrase I often use when I see the Nine of Pentacles is tending to your own garden. I've used that phrase forever, even before this. I saw this card, and you know, she's literally picked these flowers from a garden at least. But this is often the single person card, which seems to be changing, but not without its challenges, because we have this Ace of Cups here. So I would say questions for the next 24 hours. In this isolation, in this pause, what are you discovering about yourself? What specifically is surprising you in terms of who you are and what you need? Maybe you're finding that now that you're not going to the office every day or going through your usual routine, that you do have a desire for maybe a romantic connection that you thought had passed or you didn't know that you needed. And lastly, we have Major Arcana, Wheel of Fortune, a return of 2 cards, the Two of Cups, the Two of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. So, Wheel of Fortune, one of my favorite cards of the deck, but really different take in this depiction of the Wheel of Fortune. Typically, it's this wheel and all of the different elements are represented, and or signs of the zodiac, I should say, are represented. Well, both really. And, you know, it's this wheel that repeats and spins both forward and backwards, and it's about learning lessons. In this depiction, this, you know, this person, this very simple basket maker, is on the ground building baskets. And this strange person is coming unexpectedly, it looks like, and offering a crown. You know, what is this lowly basket maker? What is he thinking when he sees that he's being offered to be a king? He's on the ground toiling away, but there are greater things coming towards him. And the message of this take of the Wheel of Fortune. Really different than the way I typically read it, but in any event, it is about things turning in a new direction, an unexpected direction. And in this case, it's quite positive. He's not going to be making baskets for much longer. He's going to be king. And then we have the Two of Swords. I think what is jumping out of me again, the blue and the blue that goes with the moon. You may think that you have all these decisions to make, right? If you remember the Two of Swords from the 20th, there was a sword in each hand. She's typically blindfolded. But in this case, she almost looks to be in a trance. And her hands are protecting her heart. So this impasse, this indecision, maybe to move forward and open your heart is so terrifying because you don't know what's on the other side. That you've been maybe frozen, kind of like this woman looks in this image. But that's changing, it looks like. Again, this Wheel of Fortune in this deck, at least, is about very unexpected positive change. But what does that mean? It means we face again the Eight of Cups. Walking away from something we love, and we talked on the 20th about how we are often attached even to negative behavior because it brings us a sense of control, a sense of expected outcomes, even if they're negative, and how difficult it can be to walk away even from the worst of habits just because it means change. And that's very much what I'm seeing in this reading today, is about changes that are coming towards you or are already upon you, and kind of your struggle of how to readjust your lens to accept that change. Maybe it means not being alone anymore. You know, what is the struggle? Who is struggling? Is it somebody, a literal person or persons who doesn't want to see you change? Or is this an interior struggle? Because the final card we have here is the Four of Pentacles. And this is about holding on to our old ways. In the traditional Rider-Waite, it's usually a figure with holding four pentacles, pentacles being earth, earth being, physical, material things. And in this card, indeed, this old woman is, holding on to these material objects, these pearls and the scepter, decked out in her finest, but also looking kind of like on her last leg. So it's kind of, you can't take it with you. So what are you holding on to that brings you comfort? Eight of Cups. Those are some thoughts for the next 24 hours. What are you holding on to so tightly that seems secure, that keeps you solitary? And how can you move forward in a different way, in a new emotional direction that actually is true to who you are, that confident person that you want to be? And what are the persons or thoughts that keep you from reaching towards that? And what is this fear of the unknown? What has you paralyzed? Because the truth is, you may not be dreaming big enough. Someone said that to me once. How big are your dreams, and are they big enough? So that is today's meditation for the next 24 hours, your next 24 hours. I really do appreciate you joining me, and wish you the very best. Have a wonderful day. Know you are loved, and I will talk to you soon.